Narcissists are really good at knowing when it is a good time to get their narcissistic supply that they need so much. That means they want to have some kind of an engagement with the person that they're picking on at the moment, and they want to feel good at the end. They want to feel like they destroyed you a little bit more, and that gets them high. So they look for good times to do that. And here are the good times. If you are already down and out, something happened. It can be something horrible like a death, or it could be something, not so life-altering, like you had to go shopping for a dress and you couldn't find the one that you would like, so you came home with nothing. Something like that. They will notice that and pick on you. My mother had loved to get on me when there was a death. I had my grandmother died, and I was sobbing a little bit in the church. I was in the row behind my mother, and she turned around with a face of horror. "You do not cry here. You cry at home." I was like, what the fuck? And here's my theory on that. She wasn't crying. Wasn't about her. It was about my grandmother. My mother didn't have the attention on her, and she wasn't crying, so now she knew people probably didn't think she was sad or whatever, and I was sobbing, and she didn't want that attention going to me. She didn't want people saying, "Oh, poor Darlene, she misses her grandmother." So she shut me up, and the whole entire Mass, all I could do is think about how awful that was that my mother said that to me. I couldn't even be present for my grandmother's Mass because I was so distraught. I never forgot it. I never will. I'll never forget how that made me feel in that moment. I also had a friend who was killed when I was a teenager in a car accident, and I was so distraught, and I was crying in my bed, in my room, in that old house, and my mother came up and sat on the bed, and I thought she was going to comfort me, and she tore up my relationship with this person, and just, "You don't need to be crying about stuff like that. You don't even care for that." It was just so off the wall, and again, I could not believe that I had to have her come and intrude on a private moment for me, because I knew better than to cry in front of her, because I know something like that will happen. But she came into my room and tore me up and made me feel like shit, because I knew she didn't even care that I was so incredibly sad. She didn't want me to go to the funeral parlor. It just, it was awful. It was awful. Anyway, so there's that. And then little things like not getting the right dress or something like that. She could turn that into something awful too, Oh, you're just too fussy, blah, 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 blah. Or maybe if you lost some weight, you'd have a chance to find something. And I wasn't overweight back then. It's just, I don't know. Okay, so when you're down about something, it could be something big, something little, or I should say something meaningless that, nobody is going to have. It's not the end of the world if you don't get the dress. You have the right to be frustrated a little bit, But anyway, there's all that. Then if there's something good, you got a new job and you come home and say, "I love my boss," or "I love my job." They're going to want to destroy that. Or a good grade on a paper. Maybe it was a 98 or an A, not an A+. She'll point out that it wasn't perfect. And I went through that all through the grammar school. I was sick to my stomach if I didn't get perfect grades. Sick to my stomach, and would walk home so sick. Why did I miss that one? Why can't I be perfect? Because she would point that out. I'd have like all A+ and maybe one A, and that's what she would notice. And it just made me feel awful. And I kept that through all of school. In fact, if I was in a class, like even in high school, and I knew I wasn't going to get really good grades, I would just check out, because I would rather fail because I didn't even try than to not be perfect while trying really, really hard. I don't know if that makes sense. I used to go to the library in the summer and get, not grammar books, textbooks, and start studying, start doing homework assignments from the books, because I was so afraid to not excel in school. And and I can't even believe I did as well as I did. And in college too. I went to college in my 30s. I was drinking the most in my 30s. And I still excelled. I don't know. When you're determined, you're determined. So I just wanted to let you know that. And it's very confusing that when you're sad, your mother is evil to you, and when you're happy, your mother is evil to you. Or any narcissist. This isn't just for mothers at all. So there was that sometimes middle of the road kind of thing, where I just wouldn't talk about stuff, or maybe I would say, can we go to the beach today, as a child, because she was pretty good at wanting to go to the beach. And, I don't ever remember us fighting on the beach. But that doesn't mean I should just hang on to those good things. See, your mother was good to you at times. Why do you throw her under the bus because she had some faults? Because she was abusive. And because I knew those good times were not real. They weren't the real her. As I got a little older. When I was little, those good times kind of did fix everything, so that every time it went bad again, I had to relive all of that horror like it was happening the first time. As I got older, I realized this good time is not going to last. So don't get your hopes up and expect horrors to come. And they did. So that's how I got through, just knowing that this, happy stuff was bullshit. And, you do what you have to do when you're young, when you're a child, to just protect yourself. You don't want to feel like shit all the time, so you just learn how to go with the flow.